Well, welcome to Lakeport State Park in Michigan, just north of Port Huron, Michigan. What a sad sight to see. I spent a lot of time here with my daughters Amanda and Stephanie way back in the day, and now we used to have lots of company, would meet people here, make new friends here. I've been here a couple of times in the last couple of years, and it's always been virtually empty. And it is too bad. Over here is a picnic structure. Used to actually even drive up here with a grill to make breakfast or lunch, occasionally dinner. Bring the girls and their mother up here. Met their grandparents on both sides up here. Spent a lot of time up here. Also, my first foray into video was at this park, about 20 years ago. It's been a long time. Unfortunately, this is a park that's been all but forgotten here in Michigan. It is still maintained by the state of Michigan. There's a campground not far from here. They don't even man the gate here anymore. You are required to have a state park pass to use this facility, which I do have, but there's nobody here to check it. Here's the old bathroom facilities. I'm obviously not going to walk in the bathrooms with the doors there propped open, so it looks like they are at least maintaining the restroom facilities here. And they still have a volleyball net over here, horseshoe pit. There's still stuff here. The grass is mowed. Here's something that's it's kind of sad to me. All these cattails coming up here. That used to be a good sized pond with some really good fishing. And now it is completely overgrown. Oh, and there goes the bunny rabbit. Bunny, bunny, bunny. Now it looks like it is completely filled in with cattails and various plant life. So it's swampy-ish. It's not a true swamp because it was at one time a very large, very nice pond for fishing. Pulled a lot of fish out of here back in the day, and saw a lot with the girls. A lot of really nice wildlife, and it's just a shame. This little bridge has always traversed it, and now where it used to be a very large picnic area is an unmowed, looks like they may mow it once or twice a year, but unmaintained old picnic area. What's left of a little path here, and if I remember correctly, and it looks like this will verify this, there used to be another structure here, another kind of gazebo picnic structure. Yeah, there's the foundation is still left here, but other than that, this is virtually abandoned. There isn't much here but some birds and obviously rabbits. Yeah, the structure's gone. I'm not sure what that tape is there, but a little bit of foundation stuff left here. That's it. It's all overgrown and virtually gone. But you can see the views here are absolutely spectacular. Once upon a time, this is a great place to bring your family to, your kids to, friends to, and kind of hang out. Now, this was the mid 90s or so, and into the early 2000s that we would come out here. Video games were big back then, but people still spent some time outdoors. I know I encourage my kids to go outdoors an awful lot. I'm sure they would have stories about that to this day. But now, so much indoor activities and video game playing that parks like this, at least in Michigan, are virtually abandoned. I'm glad to see that there is some maintenance going on here, because for a while they were not cutting the grass. They didn't even have trash cans. There was trash everywhere. Now there's actually a dumpster here, so you can pick up after yourself. But I know for a while it wasn't even any way. Well, I mean, you had to pack it out. You had to take your own trash out, and unfortunately too many people were not willing to do that. Now this is the main picnic area. I am going to edit out the walk to the beach area. There's not that much to the walk. It's a little bit of a walk, and there's just more of the same. It is a path that in theory you could take a bike on. Once upon a time I do remember doing that and taking it over to the beach area, although on the beach proper bikes aren't really that great, but it was a little quicker way to get there, and you could park your bike and hang out on the beach. Although Michigan has a huge amount of shoreline, it's kind of weird. Some of the parks are not necessarily super easily accessible to get to the beaches. This one a little farther than most, but a lot of them there is at least some sort of walk to get to the beach. And there are, of course, plenty of beaches in Michigan that you can park in a parking lot adjacent to the beach, and it's a very, very short walk. This one, with all the surroundings and the state land here, kind of a pretty walk. Hopefully I'll be able to get more video here. It's just starting to sprinkle now, and I don't want to get too wet, and I certainly don't want to get my phone or my equipment wet. And as I'm walking here, something I completely forgot about, there's another little crossover. This is kind of one end of that what used to be fishing pond area, and I had completely forgotten about this other little kind of, I can't really say bridge, more walkway towards what's basically a drainage ditch. And this used to be full of fish as well. Now there's just a tiny bit of water trickling out of the pond and out onto the actual beach. This used to be full of all kinds of frogs and fish, and now there are still birds around, but now I'm not seeing quite as much wildlife as I recalled in years past. So there's more of the same of this. Basically, take this path for a short walk, and then there is, you can see there a little distance away, a bridge that goes over a highway onto the beach itself. And this does make it a little discouraging for people today, because not only the walk, but you've got a steep incline to get up onto the bridge. It is not the most accessible beach in Michigan, but kind of a neat one. So we'll be back in just a few to see what the actual beach looks like, and I'm curious to see what kind of condition it's been kept up in. Here's a quick look at the top of the bridge. That's looking back on the path I took up here. There is another alternative path from the parking lot to get here. And here is the bridge proper. And we'll get a look at that. This goes across, not quite, well, across a two-lane highway. It's not a super fast one. It's not super big, but it is a primary artery for this part of Michigan. So I've got traffic coming both ways underneath this bridge, and it stands out a little bit amongst all the trees and the grass and the greenway. But once you get past this part of the bridge, then it's back into a park-like area. They do maintain picnic stuff here a little bit more. There's picnic tables, there are grills here, another volleyball net there, and off in the distance you can see some water. So we'll finish this part of the walk, and then I will come back with some shots of the water. And I don't know if you can see in the distance, hopefully when I get down a little closer, there is a big freighter out in the water there. It is little areas like this that I just love. Birch bark trees, all sorts of other trees mixed in here. A little picnic area with a grill that you can use. There is a handicapped parking lot. I believe it's handicapped only down this path here, so that you don't have to try and get a wheelchair across that bridge. And it brings this park a little bit more accessible in that regard. There is another bathroom facility here. As I recall, once upon a time, I don't know if this is still true or not, there were showers here as well to use after you came out of the water and on the beach. And this is something that has been redone, I am happy to see. For many years, there was some bad storms off this lake and completely washed out this staircase and this entrance, and there really wasn't a way to get to the beach proper for several years. Probably one of the things that contributed to the decline of any kind of attendance here. It's still a beautiful park, and it's a shame. I know it is a Monday morning, and it is kind of a cloudy, overcast, a little sprinkly day, but I'm a little disheartened to not even see any dogs being walked here or any families here. I know once upon a time, even the local daycare centers would spend a good chunk of their summers here, and that now virtually done from the looks of it. Beautiful view of the water, and as you may or may not be able to see, there is a freighter in the distance there, and I do not know exactly how to get my fingers out of the way there. Zoom in here. Oh, I'm just taking pictures now, trying to figure out how to zoom in on that freighter, and that'll be something that's a brand new piece of equipment for me, something I'll have to figure out later how to zoom. I do know zooms are not that great on this kind of camera equipment, but a beautiful little beach. It's a shame that it's virtually abandoned now. Just another one of those hidden gems in Michigan that unless you really know to stop here, you don't know what's there. It's just a state park sign and not much else beside it. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see a lot of different rocks down there. Some of those are the old staircase, and some of them have been what has been washed up. At one point, the water was very high here, basically engulfed the lower part of the staircase, and you could use this upper part of the staircase. They had it roped off for a while, but it was still functional, and this part was pretty much underwater, and the rocks beat it to the point where it was completely broken up and not safely usable, not even close. I used to like to climb rocks and that sort of thing. I wouldn't have even attempted it. So it's not a huge beach. This is just one of those little local gems that it's a shame more people don't stop and take a peek or make some memories here. I have some very fond memories with my daughters and even their mother. She might be surprised to hear that. But over the years, it was a nice place to bring the kids to, spend time with a bunch of other family members, with friends. We had a lot of good times here. Spent a lot of time picking through still get gravelly stones washing up here on the beach all the time. And something that I used to really like to do way back in the day, before there was a bottle deposit in Michigan, a lot of people just tossed their glass bottles into the water. Not a great thing to do, but as a kid, occasionally I would find polished pieces of glass that they were rounded smooth and looked like glass rocks. My favorite ones to find were of Mountain Dew bottles for the logo. You could sometimes see a little bit of that, and actually beer bottles because you could get different colors in the glass then. So kind of a neat place. You can see that this beach continues on for a little ways, and eventually at both ends it turns into private property, or at least private homes on the beach. No such thing as a private beach to really speak of in Michigan. You have to have access to the water, but you can see private residences a little bit further on. Hopefully you can see that. And it does have a designated swimming area. There are a couple of buoys out there. I don't know if you can see those very easily or not. Just all in all, a really neat little place. So if you ever are in the Port Huron area and you want to see some freighters, again in the distance there is a nice big freighter, stop on by. Patronize this park. Don't let it finally get closed down because there's just not enough use. Back in a little bit. It's starting to rain a little harder now, so I'm going to pack it up and get back to my vehicle. If you get a chance, come on by Lakeport State Park, their day use facility. There's also a Lakeport State Park camping facility just up the road here. A couple things I noticed on my walk out. I've forgotten, there used to be a lot of playground equipment here. Slides and swing sets and jungle gyms and the like. I saw one functional swing set off in the distance. Doesn't look like it gets used at all anymore. And I did notice a flyer for, it looks like this summer. It's a kind of damaged flyer, wasn't worth getting a shot of, but it looks like it's current for this summer for basically a Saturday day camp until August 5th, 2017. It didn't have 2017 on there. I'm just dating this video. So 4 p.m. on Saturdays, they have some sort of kids camp going on. It says